Hey everybody, Chris Lucier here with the Elm Wealth Management Group of Raymond James. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching. If it's your first time here, do me a favor and subscribe. Click the subscribe button down below right now and become a member of our community and help us spread financial literacy across the world. Also, if you like what you're seeing and hearing today, go ahead and click the like button so we know you're getting something from the content. It'll encourage us to produce more. And if you want to be one of the first to know when we do publish new content, go ahead and click the alerts button. You'll get a notification that a new video dropped each time we do. So let's get started. Topic of the day. This is a common one that I have almost daily conversations with clients about: traditional IRA versus Roth IRA, this epic showdown between the two. Which is better? Well, there's no right answer with a lot of things. It depends. But let's first start by dispelling a myth, because I can't tell you how many times I've answered this question. What does Roth stand for? Well, the letters ROTH, you often see them in all caps in an article title or a website, but the secret answer really is it's a last name. It's not an acronym, doesn't stand for anything except someone's last name. Senator William Roth was one of the key authors of a bill that passed Congress and gave us in 1998 the Roth IRA as a retirement menu choice. So there you have it. Thank you, Senator William Roth, for your bright idea. So, or maybe not, for making our choices more complex, depending on your perspective. But there you have it. The biggest difference between the two, and this is the kind of the core issue, is one word: taxes. Now or later. Because with a traditional IRA, often referred to as a pre-tax IRA, you're avoiding the taxes now, deferring them until some point down the road, where either you have to pay them or your beneficiaries do. With a Roth IRA, you do pay the taxes now if you think it's worth it, because all of the gains from here until infinity will ultimately be tax-free if you do it right. So, do you want to pay taxes now and enjoy the gains tax-free down the road, or do you want to defer all taxes and ultimately just pay whatever you have to at some point when you're finished kicking the can? So that brings us to the next point, is required minimum distributions. So this applies to traditional IRAs. When you have pre-tax money and you've deferred it for several decades, ultimately Uncle Sam reaches out, taps you on the shoulder, turns you around and says, pay up, because he wants his cut. And that's why required minimum distributions exist, because you've deferred taxes and there's no such thing as a free ride, of course, so the government wants their share of your earnings at some point. That age for required minimum distributions has varied over the years from 70 and a half, where it was for quite some time, to 72. And we're also seeing that number, or that age, kind of move upwards of 73 and ultimately possibly even 75 several years later down the road here. So that's a moving target, but the concept still applies. You get to an age where the government says you have to start withdrawing the money from your pre-tax account, pay the taxes, and do whatever you want with the proceeds. We don't care. So that's required minimum distribution. If something happens to you before you get to that age, well, then your beneficiaries would have to start paying those taxes when they inherit that pre-tax account. So somebody always pays the taxes, right? No such thing as a free ride. With a Roth IRA, there is no required minimum distribution. There is no certain age to track from that standpoint, and the gains will always be tax-free whether you utilize them or your beneficiary. So it can be a great estate planning tool. Now, there are some things that kind of make them better for one person or another. And with a Roth IRA, we typically find they're great for young people. People who are starting out fresh out of school at the bottom of the totem pole, and maybe they're in the lowest tax bracket they may ever be in again. So why not pay taxes at, say, 12, 15, 18%, whatever the lowest tax brackets are, when you'll ultimately get to the high 20s, 30 something percent tax brackets, so on and so forth. So pay taxes now at the lower bracket so you can avoid paying them down the road when you're in the higher tax brackets. And there's also something to be said about conversions, because you can convert pre-tax money into Roth money by paying the taxes now, and there are a lot of cases where that makes sense. So really, the biggest difference, taxes now or later. There's a number of cases where it can be beneficial. There's a lot of different situations where it can't. So let's go ahead and look at your situation, compare and contrast each one and see which makes sense. Now, that's all assuming you can do either or you have the choice. There are income limitations on each, whether you can even take the tax deduction on a pre-tax IRA or you make too much, or whether you make too much to even contribute to a Roth IRA. Because if you're fortunate enough to have a great income, then maybe neither makes sense. Unless you fall into the category where a backdoor Roth strategy, or what I lovingly refer to as a BDRS, may come into play. Now, what is a backdoor Roth strategy? Stay tuned for the next video, because it's gonna be on that topic there. It's a video for another day. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time.